نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. In the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most merciful, and blessings be upon His beloved Sayyidina Sarkar Madina Ruh Hasina sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We continue with Kitab Sawm with respect to the Hanafi school of fiqh. The next heading which I wanted to discuss with yourselves is in the case of a menstruating woman or a traveller. Now, if a menstruating woman or a female is fasting, okay, or a traveller is fasting, okay, or somebody is fasting, and then they enter a state of menstruation, or they give birth and they enter a state of nifas, which is postnatal bleeding, or they then become a traveller to the required legal limit, alright? So you cover the relevant mileage and then actually become classed as a traveller. And at that point, the menstruating woman and the woman who enters postnatal state of bleeding, her fast would be invalidated automatically. However, the traveller, they have the choice then to either continue the fast or to sort of conclude the fast on the basis that they're then a traveller. Okay, let's take the example, for the purposes of this scenario, that they do conclude the fast, alright? For the purposes of travelling, they decide that it's going to be a long journey and they do need to open the fast, so it comes to a conclusion. These people are expected, even though they are in this state, that they are expected to continue due to the adab in the month of Ramadan. They expected to continue with adab and conduct themselves in adab, as I previously mentioned in the previous videos, that they are not to eat or drink carelessly in public in the month of Ramadan, and they are to sort of conduct themselves in the colour of the Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala. And the Book of Qaduri then says that where a lady who is menstruating then finishes her menstrual cycle, and if it's still the month of Ramadan, or a lady who is sort of undergoing postnatal bleeding and then of nifas and then concludes that, or a traveller becomes muqim again who wasn't previously fasting, adab would dictate that they continue as though they are fasting, and they don't, as I mentioned previously, they observe the adab in the month of Ramadan also. Okay, they are sort of to continue in this manner with this respect. Eating in or around sort of the suhoor or the iftar time, according to the Hanafi fiqh law, it's a common problem that we have. Sometimes we wake up late. It's difficult to get out of bed, especially when you're so tired and you've been praying at night time. And then the suhoor time is upon you, okay? You're afraid that, suhoor time is coming to a conclusion, so you quickly try and eat whatever you can, alright, to last you for the day. Please be extremely vigilant with respect to these times, with respect to iftar and suhoor, okay? Because the Hanafi fiqh law says that if somebody was to eat or drink at suhoor time, thinking that it's still suhoor time, but actually suhoor time had come to a conclusion, the second dawning had sort of taken place, and later they realized that they ate beyond this time, then they would be expected to make up that fast by way of qada, and it would in fact be invalidated. Similarly, if it comes to iftar time and you eat on the basis that you believe that iftar time has come, and you eat, and later did you find out, okay, later did you find out that iftar time hadn't actually fallen at the time that you ate, and you ate perhaps a minute early or something like this, would actually invalidate your fast, okay, and you would be expected to make it up again by way of qada. So extreme vigilance when it comes to timings is sort of impressed at this point, okay. So in case it hasn't been already sort of established, just a brief summary of the sort of things, and including a few other things, what would invalidate the fast, alright. Eating would invalidate the fast, as we're all probably aware, no doubt. Drinking would invalidate the fast. Joining in conjugal relations with your marital partners, this would also invalidate the fast. Vomiting with a mouthful or more, but there's a condition to this. Remember, as we said earlier, vomiting with a mouthful or more on purpose, okay, so do it with intention, all right, doing it, why you would want to do that, Allah wa Rasuluhu alim. But again, it would actually invalidate the fast, all right. Swallowing rainwater, okay, this is also something which would in fact invalidate the fast, as would smoking a cigarette, all right, and as would utilizing any form of medicine which would reach the head or the stomach, all right. These things would also sort of invalidate the fast. Alright, so a little bit of a summary there for you, just to sort of recap on some of the points that we've covered and a couple of extra ones as well, inshallah Aziz. I think it's convenient to pause there, and inshallah in the next lecture we'll dive further into the material presented in the Hanafi school of fiqh. وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ وَالْمُبِينُ.